Okay, so today we'll start with the chemical literature. So for this semester, you will learn how to locate the scientific literatures and use that information to facilitate your research. So here I listed some scientific literature sources. There are two types of scientific literature sources. One is scientific journals, such as Nature. This is the English journal, and the Science, that's in the American journal. And those two are very prestigious journals. This one is one of the most prestigious journal in American Chemical Society. Is called the Journal of American Chemical Society. And the other type of a journal that's just emerged recently is a scientific multimedia digital sources, Jove.com. So basically, this one is just as the scientific YouTube or chemical YouTube. Scientists can publish articles in those traditional scientific journals. On Jove.com, scientists can publish videos, short videos. So just the same as YouTube. YouTube is for general public, and the Jove.com is the video clips for scientists. So the Jove.com won't be the focus of this class. So we still gonna stay on the traditional track a little bit. So most of today's discussion will about the traditional scientific journals. In terms of scientific periodic publications, there are two types of publications. One we call the journals. They are mostly scholarly, peer-reviewed, and research journals. The most important thing for these are they are peer-reviewed by scientists, and the articles has been selected and published from submission. And the other type is more popular journals, magazines. For example, this is Chemical and Engineering News. This one is not peer-reviewed, even though it looks like a scientific journal. It's not. It's more like a scientific magazine. Their submissions are accepted and corrected only grammatically. So their scientific content is not evaluated by other scientists. Okay, so there are different. The scholarly peer-reviewed journals are the focus of this class. So it's where we want to get the scientific information from. There are different sources from the journal. The primary sources, usually these are the first-hand information. So these are as close as possible to original ideas, events, and the empirical research. These research can include some journal articles, conference proceedings, and technical reports. And if you are a graduate student, your thesis will be also the primary sources. In most universities' library, you will be able to search the graduate thesis and the patents. So you can search patent on the US Patent Office and the trade secret. Trade secret is not public since it's a secret, so it won't be searchable. However, these are the primary sources. The other type of sources are secondary and tertiary sources. The secondary source is analyze, review, or summarize information in primary sources or other secondary sources. The tertiary sources provide overviews of topics by synthesizing information gathered from other sources. Tertiary sources often provide data in convenient format or provide information with the context by which to interpret it. So the secondary sources sometimes includes the review articles, monographs. The tertiary sources includes the indexes, handbooks. So the CRC handbook is one of the tertiary sources, and also data collections or databases. So one of them will be the Aldrich NMR library. The other one is more important for this class. I also have a few physical properties to have you guys to look up through the NIST web book. I provided the URL here and your textbook and the other computer bases. Okay, so those are tertiary sources. There is no significant difference between secondary and tertiary sources. However, there is a difference between primary and the secondary sources. So I want you guys to be able to tell the difference of a primary and the secondary sources. So primary source, that's the first-hand information you get directly from the scientist. And the secondary sources are not. They are summarized, secondary and tertiary sources. They are summarized information from multiple resources, okay? So this is just as the information sources that we got on everyday basis. Some of these sources are not that reliable, and some of them are. So how can we tell which source is useful and reliable?